Everybody wants to get into the world of digital nowadays, but does one understand what it is like to be in the digital landscape? Let us deep dive into the day of a director in the digital landscape. But before that, let's also understand the events and experiences that shaped the digital director's life until now. And once that is understood, it will be crystal clear what it takes to be at the desk of a digital director. Let's not go back much far behind, but let's begin. Let's start talking about the year 1998, the final year of graduation. Couple of years passes and Y2K, the problem that got written about in the tabloids and newspapers all over the world, created a lot of noise. And suddenly, as the date passed, the problem got solved, life progressed, and into the few more years, an MBA comes out to join the corporate world. After initial stint into research and analytics, the gates of the big stage opens up and the world of digital opens up. Being in an exclusive squad of 14-member team to serve, possibly at that time, country's biggest online advertiser and collaboration of country's first digital marketing agency takes shape. Life unfolds unexpectedly, coming across the technologies and terms that are never been heard, leave aside working on them in depth. All of those was made possible with the advent of the big wave called digital, back about 2 decades ago. A few years more into the landscape, the advertising begins to change. It does as much work as to garner the attention from all walks of corporate life, essentially in advertising agencies, in sectors and industries. Meanwhile, globally, a lot of companies have forayed into the nation. Named Google, social media began to evolve and people began to understand how to be connected even without being physically connected. And the word social media began to be popularized and people began to get used to it. All of that put together, coming to the day today, on the desk of a digital director. Today, he gets a brief from most of the advertisers who earlier back in 2 decades ago used to spend only 1% of their digital spend have begun to spend more than 30 to 40% of their advertising spend. And that's the situation in which a particular digital director works. He gets the brief about the problems that a client faces, understands it, takes the overview of digital technologies and begins to evaluate digital technology trends. Now, trends are the big waves that has the potential, even if chosen one, to change the next 20, 30, 40, 50, or even a century to change. He begins to evaluate those trends and tries to arrive at some that can be applied for the particular brief that he has received. There are certain technologies and a lot talked about, like, there are data management technologies, there are cloud computing, quantum computing, Internet of Things, Internet of Behaviors, artificial intelligence and machine learning, virtual reality and augmented reality, edge computing and robotic process automation, full stack development, enterprise resource planning, datafication and digital trust. There are things like technical debt, where the more you do into digital, the more you delve into digital, you are building a society debt. It's like an urgency of doing something and at the same time you are sacrificing on the human values. A lot of things have developed over the time. And finally, when such actions happen in a corporate world, the culture itself begins to evolve. They begin to think about digital transformation by way of certain digital management techniques. e-commerce and online sales. There are digital marketing agencies. Now, as and when the corporate progresses on the digital landscape, situations begin to emerge on the line of thoughts where key decision makers begin to think about revolutionizing board dynamics through board digitization. And when such things happen, they begin to form the digital committees, which are the go-to committees for board for their expertise on digital, or they also begin to think about revolutionizing corporate governance through technologies like DAO, digital technologies, and all other technologies that are applicable. Is datafication and digital trust, the issues that are required to be understood. Earlier, in fact, were the issues related to only cybersecurity, which progresses now to the board security governance, which results into the risk governance strategies. So as and when one progresses, there are issues that tackle technologies to the evolution of the risk management techniques. All of this fall into digital, and a lot more keeps churning as a result of delving more into it.